It is sad. They cannot allow Blue Ivy to be a child. Let a child be a child. They are saying all around Hollywood behind the scenes, Blue Ivy, she cannot stand wearing them dresses that they got her going on with the shoulders gone. Just so much skin. All that makeup. She don't want to wear all that makeup. She don't want to wear all those fingernail polish, okay? But she's been groomed to be Hollyweird. They're trying to push her to compete with the Kardashian kids, okay? Honey, I tell you, some sick stuff out here in these streets. Y'all need to watch this video. In this video, it tells the tale of Blue Ivy, how she really feels about the limelight. She really don't want it. She has been pushed, okay, forced. And you know, it's so sad. Michael Jackson, look how he turned out being forced in the limelight. I mean, all the kids that are being forced in this Hollywood, they all have tragic, horrible stories. And honey, we got to save Blue Ivy. We got to speak up for Blue Ivy because nobody's doing that, okay? Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot and check this video out. Listen to this.
Beyonce's little girl, Blue Ivy, is getting a show of support from talk show host Sherry Shepherd.
I got to talk about what everybody is talking about in this situation.
Blue Ivy is done playing with y'all in your slick talk about her daddy. Sis said, disrespect who? Not on my watch. She's out here clapping back at internet trolls and keeping folks in check. And baby, it's a whole hot mess. Just recently, she made one of the most iconic entrances of her young life at the premiere of Mufasa, the Lion King. She came through as Kiara, giving us poise, grace, and everything in between. But listen, this night had more drama than the Serengeti itself. While the world was applauding her glow-up, whispers about Jay-Z and some jaw-dropping allegations were swirling in the background. And Blue Ivy? Oh, she wasn't having it. Not even a little bit. Y'all better grab your snacks because we have plenty to unpack. Let's dive in. First of all, let's get into it. At just 12 years old, Blue Ivy is already showing the world she's made for the limelight. Sis stepped onto that Mufasa Premiere red carpet in a jaw-dropping, shimmering gold gown with a train that said, "Yes, I'm royalty, and y'all will deal." Standing alongside her parents, she exuded poise, confidence, and that undeniable star power that says, "I'm next in line." But let's not act like this was just another cute red carpet moment. Nah, this was a whole statement. Beyonce strategically made sure the spotlight was shining on Blue and her accomplishments while the family was in the middle of a media tornado. Blue's role as Kiara was her first major acting credit, and Bey wasn't about to let that go unnoticed. She hit Instagram with a heartfelt post that screamed, "Proud mama, my gorgeous baby girl, this is your night. You worked so hard and did such a beautiful job as the voice of Kiara. Your family couldn't be prouder. Keep shining." And listen, the timing of that post, not a coincidence. It was Beyonce's way of saying loud and clear, we don't fold and this scandal will not define us. Now here's where it gets real messy. The premiere came just a day after some career-ending allegations dropped on Jay-Z. And baby, if you don't know by now, then I don't know what rock you've been hiding under. A lawsuit was filed accusing Jay-Z of essaying a 13-year-old girl back in 2000 alongside his longtime associate, Sean Diddy Combs. Yes, that Diddy. The claims are beyond disturbing. And while Jay-Z has vehemently denied everything, the public reaction has been hotter than fish grease. Social media has been on fire with debates, outrage, and calls for accountability. And then Jay-Z? Oh, he came out swinging with a statement, calling the allegations a blatant blackmail attempt and accusing the plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Busby, of orchestrating a smear campaign. "My only heartbreak is for my family," he said, highlighting the toll this mess has taken on his kids. Logically, y'all, the drama is too thick.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
This in the wake of our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs of raping her when she was 13 years old.
No matter how much Jay-Z and his legal team deny the allegations, the internet has already snatched its gavel and is out here playing judge, jury, and executioner. For Blue Ivy, this whole circus is a brand new level of chaos. Just imagine, at her age, already living under the blazing spotlight of fame, and now having to deal with the whispers, side eyes, and messy conversations about her family. At the Mufasa premiere, some fans couldn't help but notice Blue's serious and composed expression. It didn't take long for folks to start speculating. devastating, saying she seemed distant from her dad. The internet even spun wild theories that maybe she's upset with him over these allegations. Now, whether there's any truth to that or not, one thing is clear. Blue Ivy is handling this storm with a kind of grace and maturity that's way beyond her years. But let's talk about what nobody's really discussing, how this mess might be affecting Blue Ivy at school. Sis is enrolled in one of LA's most elite private schools, where her classmates are basically a mini Hollywood roster of celebrity kids. While that might offer some understanding of the pressures she's under, it doesn't mean it's all smooth sailing. Kids, even the ones living bougie lives, are still kids. They talk, they gossip, and those whispers about her family could easily snowball into something hurtful, making school life awkward and uncomfortable for Blue at a time when she should just be focused on growing up. And let's not forget, on top of all that, her school has probably ramped up security measures like crazy to ensure her safety. But no amount of security guards or locked gates can shield her from the emotional toll this kind of drama brings. Imagine trying to juggle classes, friendships, and hobbies while also carrying the weight of your family's name plastered across messy headlines. It's a lot, y'all. And honestly, this is exactly the kind of heartbreak Jay-Z mentioned in his response to Tony Busby, saying, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their age. It is unfamiliar to try to understand the inexplicable degree of malice meant to destroy families and the human spirit." And let's get into how this mess might impact Blue Ivy's budding career. Sis is right on the edge of building her own legacy, separate from her superstar parents. But let's be real, scandals like this have a way of dimming even the brightest lights. Every role, every interview, every move she makes is bound to come with those loaded questions about her father. Yet, judging by her presence at the premiere, it's clear Blue is ready to tackle all that noise head on. But here's the kicker. Jay-Z's ties to folks like Diddy are straight up dragging Blue's image down, just like her dad feared. Let's not forget, Diddy's situation is looking way more open and shut at this point. With over 100 allegations against him piling up, the public's reaction has been brutal and unforgiving. While Jay-Z's case is still unraveling, Diddy's legal chaos has cast a dark shadow over everything. And for Blue Ivy, that association makes the weight she's carrying even heavier. Whether fair or not, people are side-eyeing her dad's connections, and that complicates things for her. It's tough enough to rise in the industry as the child of legends, but adding this kind of drama, it's a lot for anyone, let alone a 12-year-old just trying to shine.
I do want to ask you this. What is Jay-Z's sort of legal team strategy in describing the relationship between Diddy and Jay-Z? Because there are a ton of photos out of them over the years, obviously before these allegations came out.
This civil suit, Tom, originally just named Combs, and then it was amended last weekend to include Jay-Z. What Alex Spiro said to me today is that although publicly Jay-Z supported Diddy, they were not best friends. They were not as close as you thought that they were. So in terms of knowledge of what went on allegedly at these white parties and what took place allegedly in these civil suits and the criminal charge and the trial, he says Jay-Z has no knowledge of any of that. Again, he publicly supported him as a fellow musician and someone where they came up together in the industry, but that they weren't as close as you thought.
All right, let me break it down for those of you who've been living under a rock and don't fully get how Jay-Z got tangled up in this mess. This whole thing didn't even start with him. It was originally all about Diddy. The lawsuit that got the ball rolling, filed back on October 20th, centered entirely on Diddy. It involved an underage individual who allegedly had an unprintable encounter with Diddy at the 2000 NBA Awards after party. And at that time, only Diddy and another unnamed male celebrity were mentioned. For years, no one knew the identity of the other A-list celebs or the unnamed female involved. That was until everything blew up after Diddy's arrest. And whether it's fair or not, Jay-Z got caught in the crossfire because of his close ties to Diddy. This is more than just a lawsuit. It's turned into a full-on legal and reputational nightmare for Jay-Z and his entire household. And you best believe, with all that drama swirling around, every single eye was on Blue Ivy when she stepped out for the Mufasa premiere. Now let's take a moment and talk about what it's like for Blue Ivy. Growing up in the spotlight, sis was literally born into fame and fortune, but it comes with a price. While she's out here trying to build her own legacy, the pressure and scrutiny are just as real as the accolades. And with all this mess surrounding her family, her life in the public eye is about to get even more complicated. What's truly terrifying is the constant pressure of having your every move watched, especially for someone like Blue Ivy. She's almost the same age as the alleged victim in the lawsuit, and folks have been making sure to point that out every chance they get. Whether or not these allegations against Jay-Z are true, they're going to stick with Blue. It's inevitable. This whole mess will leave a lasting impact on how she sees her father and her family. Growing up in a household full of public figures is already a challenge, but when your family's reputation is on the line like this, it hits differently. As she navigates these growing pains, Blue will likely have to deal with more than just the usual childhood struggles. She's now faced with trying to understand a very complex and messy situation that, no matter how it plays out, is bound to shape her future. It's a heavy weight for anyone, let alone a young girl who's just starting to find her own path. It's honestly wild how people will hurt others just to protect their own. Now, let's be clear. We're not saying Jay-Z did anything wrong here, but let's entertain the idea for a second. What if he was in that same room with that 13-year-old? It's crazy how his own are shielded, protected, and kept out of situations like this, while others' kids are thrown under the bus. It's almost like there's a whole double standard at play. Whether the allegations are true or not, the psychological toll is undeniable. Living in the spotlight means there's no escape from the whispers, the memes, and the relentless judgment. But Blue Ivy, sis is out here showing grace and resilience that's both inspiring and alarming. For someone her age, it's like she's carrying the weight of the world. Now, let's move on to the next chapter in this messy saga. You know how the court of public opinion has been? Brutal. Social media has been serving as judge, jury, and executioner, and honestly, it can be even harsher than any courtroom. Even if Jay-Z walks away unscathed, those allegations have already left a stain on his reputation. And for the Carters, this isn't just about winning legal battles. This is about saving face, rebuilding their image, and protecting their legacy. Blue Ivy is going to feel the ripple effects of this scandal in ways we can't even imagine. Every step she takes will be looked at through the lens of her family's drama. But here's the thing about the Carters. They're the kings and queens of bouncing back. Yes, this scandal is different, darker, heavier, and more personal than anything they've faced before. But if they choose to stick together through it, best believe they'll find a way to rise from the ashes. Don't sleep on them. They've got this. Let's keep it real. By now, Blue Ivy's been schooled in the art of PR and media-friendly behavior. So while some folks are giving her props for handling all this drama with poise, the truth is she's fully aware that being a part of a family like the Carters means her life is never truly hers. It's a constant balancing act between fame and privacy. And at just 12 years old, she's being forced to deal with grown-up problems, ones her father likely avoided almost 3 decades ago. It's honestly heartbreaking to see social media turn on Blue Ivy, especially considering how the very same platforms have worshipped her since the day she was born. The stark contrast between Blue's stunning red carpet look and the allegations swirling around her father makes her reality even more complicated. It's a lot for anyone, let alone a young girl who's just trying to enjoy her childhood. But if there's one thing she's got going for her, it's the fact that she's been front row and center to how her parents handle controversies and the pressure of fame. Watching them navigate the highs and the lows has, at the very least, prepared her for this kind of storm. Still, this scandal is bound to shape her view of the industry, fame, and even her personal relationships moving forward. It'll probably teach her some hard lessons about who to trust and what kind of people she wants around her. Let's just hope she learns from the example her parents set, so she doesn't end up caught in a mess like this in the future. Let's talk about the crazy, impossible standards society places on celebrity families. The second a scandal hits, it's like the whole family gets pulled into the mess, no matter how young or innocent they are. Take Diddy's 2-year-old, Love Sean, for example. That baby is now neck deep in his father's drama because remember, when Diddy was arrested, all his kids had their passports taken to make sure none of them could escape the fallout. The situation is beyond wild. Now, Blue Ivy didn't ask for any of this mess. She didn't sign up to be a part of this drama, but her last name guarantees that she's always going to be a part of the conversation, whether she wants to be or not. And let's be real, people are quick to demand accountability, yet they often forget that these are still kids we're talking about. The public's reaction to this scandal isn't just about the adults involved. It highlights a deeper issue, one that exposes the double standard we hold for celebrities. On one hand, fans are quick to cancel cancel them, often before all the facts are in. But on the other hand, those same fans are the ones ready to worship and idolize them for their accomplishments. For Blue Ivy, figuring out how to navigate this kind of hypocrisy will likely be one of her biggest challenges moving forward. She'll need to find a way to protect her peace in a world that constantly pulls her in two different directions.
The director, Barry, is a really sweet person, and he tells me ways that I can improve in my lives. And he's very supportive of me and tells me in the nicest way possible. And I feel like so does everybody else. And I feel like this is just a great experience for me, and I'm really happy for girls that look like me all around the world are able to watch this movie and hear and see themselves in it.
Good thing for Blue Ivy that she's Beyonce's daughter, because we all know Queen Bey keeps it neat, never too messy, always on brand. If you know anything about Beyonce, you know she's a master at staying above the drama. Whether it's wild accusations or clout chasers trying to get their 15 minutes, Beyonce has always handled it the same way. Silent, classy, and unbothered. She's even been accused of witchcraft, y'all. And did she respond? Nope. Did she let it affect her brand? Not one bit. Beyonce's whole thing is about keeping her image pristine and staying above the nonsense. So it's no surprise that she's handled this whole scandal with the same level of grace. Her ability to keep things quiet and move in silence, that's something Blue Ivy is bound to pick up. And honestly, it's probably the best thing she could learn in a world that's always coming for the Carters.
Beyonce's little girl, Blue Ivy, is getting a show of support from talk show host Sherry Shepherd.
I got to talk about what everybody is talking about in this situation.
Let's keep it real. Beyonce's decision to shine a spotlight on Blue Ivy at the Mufasa premiere wasn't just about celebrating her daughter. Nah, it was total damage control. You can say what you want, but Beyonce wasn't going to let this scandal slow her down. If Mufasa's premiere was Blue's night, you better believe she was going to show up and show out, just like her mama taught her. Beyonce has always been fiercely protective of her family, and this moment was no different. That emotional Instagram post? Calculated. She was redirecting the narrative, making sure the focus was on Blue and not the mess surrounding Jay-Z. But still, you can't help but wonder how much of this is weighing on Beyonce. In case y'all missed it, this lawsuit has shaken her to the core. She's been making moves to distance herself. Did you catch how Forbes listed her as Beyonce Knowles instead of Beyonce Knowles Carter on their most powerful women list? Fans are buzzing, wondering if this is a move to separate herself from Jay-Z, especially with the heavy allegations against him. Some are calling it a strategic move to protect her brand and legacy, while others think it's just an editorial choice since Forbes has played around with using both her maiden and married names in the past. But I'm with the people who believe there's no way Forbes would have made that move without getting the green light from Beyonce and her team. It's too calculated. The timing is a little too convenient. What's even more confusing is that just days after that subtle name drop, Beyonce and Jay-Z were spotted together multiple times, including at the Mufasa premiere, presenting a united front despite all the rumors. As this lawsuit plays out, it's clear the Carters are deep in it, and this is unlike anything they've ever faced before. The stakes are high, y'all, and for Blue Ivy, this is one of those defining moments. Thank you so much for hanging with me through this wild ride.
No, I don't believe that. Something did happen. Like I said before, ain't no way Fox News, CNN, all these reputable companies spend so many hours on this video, spend so many hours talking about it, and ain't nothing there. No, something happened. Something going on. That's why they're picking up the stories. Every news outlet is picking up this Diddy and Jay-Z story. Okay? Now, see, news stories, they're not going to pick nothing up as false. I can't name one time where the news people, they picked up a celebrity story and it came out to be false. Comment, let us know what y'all think about this, and I'll see you guys on the next video.